Look out, I, the awesome Green Ranger, am here to take on the Power Rangers.
It's not over yet.
In the breathtaking conclusion of the special all-new Mighty Morphin mini-series.
I know you're the Green Ranger.
You and the other Power Rangers will soon be destroyed.
It's the action-packed showdown between the incredible Dragon Zord and the mighty Megazord.
We gotta stop this guy.
Be sure you're here for the exciting conclusion of the all-new Mighty Morphin Power Rangers mini-series. Next on Fox.
Good afternoon and welcome to episode number 10 of Trax Reviews TV. I'm Alex Vanover, and we have the privilege of being joined again in the head of the Megazord and possibly in the head of the Dragon Zord. We're joined by the 80s slasher librarian, Mr. Josh LaRue.
Which did you prefer? Do you prefer when they're in the head of a Zord controlling it, or like the Thunder Zord when they're in the chest?
Probably the head.
Think so?
Probably the head. More like Voltron, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Definitely like Voltron.
I think the chest is probably more vulnerable to attacks, right?
Well, I would think the head could get knocked off, but if they're in the chest, that's like the most sturdy part of the Zord because everything connects to it, I don't know.
You know what? You might be right. If the head gets knocked off, they have a very huge possibility of actually dying because they'll go wherever the head goes with the rest of the body.
Little kids were like, decapitated Megazord, no.
If Dewey from Scream was fighting the Megazord, they wouldn't have to worry about it because Dewey never goes for the head.
Yep. You think after fighting Ghostface all those times it'd be the first place he shoots, but nope.
Until the one time he does go for the head. And then, spoiler alert, Dewey gets unalived.
Well, it's like, okay, I shot him 6 times in the chest, which they always have bulletproof vests on. I know that, but I'm going to walk right up in front of him to shoot him in the head, even though I could easily shoot him in the head from back here. But yeah.
Hey, that's a good question. Hey, that's a good question. And who would win for an upcoming news episode? Who would win? Dewey Riley, deputy or sheriff of Woodsboro versus the Megazord.
Oh my god. That would be I'd buy tickets for that fight. Oh, sure.
Hey Josh, let's do a little backstory, a little deep dive of this before we break down the episode, shall we?
Okay, let's do it.
All right, I did something different today. I think you're gonna like this. Okay, so this episode aired. This was season 1, episode 21. The original air date was October 9th, 1993. And this is where I do something a little different, Josh. We're going to have a little fun here.
Okay.
October 9th, 1993 was in fact a Saturday. So this miniseries ended on a Saturday, which tells me that the miniseries must have started on a Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
I guess
5 episodes.
I guess
okay.
So.
This episode, as of our recording right now, today, first aired 30 years, 10 months, and 19 days ago. So if you want to feel old, we're old.
Yeah.
Shit. The number 1 song in America during the day that this was aired was Dream Lover by Mariah Carey.
Oh.
And no, not Dream Lover /Aholics, the movie that the Peter Jackson, the Lord of the Rings director, wrote and was hoping to make Freddy's Dead. No, not that Dream Lover. We're talking about Mariah Carey's Dream Lover, which coincidentally came out in 1993, and Freddy's Dead came out in 91. So kind of the same time period here a little bit.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton was the president of the United States. And would you like to guess at how much a gallon of gas costs when this episode aired?
89 cents.
Boy, you are the Price is Right king. No, Josh, $1.11.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Might have been 89 cents in Arkansas, though. I think the national, I think that's probably just like the national average was $1.11.
Okay. Okay.
Once again, this episode was directed by the king of the Skinamax production, director Robert Hughes. He also wrote and directed a Friday the 13th knockoff, which Josh and I hopefully will riff in the upcoming season of Trax. And I found one more kind of deep dive about Robert Hughes before we get into the episode.
Okay.
He worked on Beetleborgs, which I think I mentioned before, but I had no idea that he produced 83 episodes of Beetleborgs.
Jeez Louise. I didn't know they had 83 episodes of Beetleborgs, period.
Yeah. So Robert Hughes must have been like the guy for Beetleborgs. Big Bad Beetle. Was it called Big Bad Beetleborgs or was it just called Beetleborgs?
Big Bad Beetleborgs. Big Bad.
And the theme song was like Big Bad
Bad Beetleborgs.
Beetleborgs. Yeah.
Three harmless little kids inside a haunted mansion. They meet a ghost that looks like Jay Leno, and he makes them Beetleborgs. I think that's the lyric.
Three typical average kids inside a haunted mansion. Just by chance, read a ghost who made them Beetleborgs. Big bad Beetleborgs. Big bad Beetleborgs.
What a just crap attempt to rip off the Power Rangers.
I know. See, VR Troopers, I loved. I love VR Troopers. I think that we need to get you to watch VR Troopers.
Countdown control. 4, 3, 2, 1.
We are. We are.
We are.
We are. We are.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are. We are.
Troopers, string out the jewel reality. Troopers, string out the jewel reality.
I even like Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. It had Matthew Lawrence on it. They used Ultraman footage and
Matthew
made it like,
Lawrence.
yeah, it's like the little brother of the Whoa guy.
Oh, wait a minute. Matt. Oh, yeah.
From
Joey
Boy
Lawrence.
Meets World. From Boy Meets World.
The evil Kilo Khan lives inside computer circuits. With the help of Malcolm Frink, he creates megavirus monsters to attack electronic systems. Meanwhile, a freak accident turns Sam Collins into Servo. His friends join forces in their Samurai's attack vehicles. Together, they transform into the Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad.
Superhuman Samurai.
Yeah, yeah. And I liked VR Troopers, like Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. I watched all of Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills. I watched all that, even though it was horrible, horrible. But yeah, Big Bad Beetleborgs was a bridge too far for me. I never really got into that one. Or I tried Master Rider, but it just wasn't my bent. So,
Tattooed Teenage what?
Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills.
Who was in that show that I would recognize?
Nobody that anybody would ever recognize was in that show, but they're all on YouTube. Superhuman Samurai, VR Troopers, and Tattooed Teenage. I think sometime in the future we gotta like watch those together or something.
Okay.
And talk about them. But yeah, Superhuman Samurai is the best one. I actually had toys from Superhuman Samurai. That's how I found out about the show. My grandma or something thought she was buying me Power Rangers for my birthday, and it was Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. So I started looking for that show, and I finally found it. So it was like syndication.
Kind of a happy accident though for Grandma, huh?
Yeah, it worked out. It was pretty. It was like a big old T-Rex Zord that turns into like the whole Megazord. Like if the T-Rex turned into the entire Megazord with no additions. It was
Okay.
weird. You'll see. Yeah, we'll get there. Tim Curry's the villain on it. He voices the villain.
What?
Yeah, Tim Curry voices the villain on Superhuman Samurai.
Superhuman Samurai.
Fun fact about Tim Curry, since you're talking about him doing a voiceover, he loves Scooby-Doo, and he was contacted to do I think he was contacted to either be in like one of the major motion picture Scooby-Doo movies, or he was contacted to be in one of the like made for TV cartoon movies, like the straight to VHS ones they came out with in the 90s.
Yeah.
And one of the titles that he was like specifically asked to do had Scrappy Doo as a main character. And Tim Curry turned it down flatly because he just absolutely hates Scrappy Doo.
I love how they made Scrappy the villain in the first
Yeah, and
movie.
first Scooby-Doo, spoiler alert. Yeah, Dewey dies in Scream 5, or yeah, Scream 5.
Scream
And
5.
Scrappy Doo is the villain in the first Scooby-Doo movie. So we just ruined your 90s and your mid 2000s for you. All right, Josh. I think it's time that we both officially hop into our Zords. Okay. Put your headset on because we're going to communicate in them later. And I didn't even know we could do that. We'll actually be able to speak to each other audibly and be able to hear each other through the Zords. Okay.
Yep.
We are going to break down the final episode of this dramatic and highly explosive and wonderful miniseries. We're talking about Green with Evil, Part 5. The epic conclusion of the origins of the Green Ranger.
You know, I love the way it starts because it just shows just how stupid Kimberly is sometimes.
Oh no.
Because the whole episode starts off with, it can't be Tommy. Maybe it's it's like, yeah, maybe it's wrong about the guy who wears all green and has been a total dick to all of us.
Yeah, he's just a dick. He's not under a spell. He's just a dick.
And he likes wearing green, like all green.
So Alpha they start out the episode like Josh is saying. Alpha confirms that Tommy is in fact the Green Ranger. So right behind me on the viewing globe there, everyone is in serious denial. Especially Kimberly, right?
Yes.
Can't believe it. Alpha, so they're all kind of like in denial. It can't possibly be their new friend Tommy, even though he's been shady AF and been a dick to everybody. Alpha immediately, Josh, deduces that Rita must have cast a mind control spell on Tommy. He has no evidence, none. He just says this.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't know this. He just says it, and they all just, okay, that's what happened. Like, is it not possible that Tommy, their new friend who they barely know, is just an asshole?
Exactly, just a dick, just a total dick.
He's just a dick. But instead, Alpha's like, no, like there's a spell, it's gotta be. And they just like, okay, that's what it is. They don't confirm it. They never figure out that Rita never says she did it, ever. At any point does she admit to it. They're just total speculation. This would be thrown out in court in Angel Grove.
It's conjecture.
Yeah, this is bullshit.
If they were real teenagers with attitude, because I've got a teenager with attitude, a daughter, it'd be like, yeah, whatever, Alpha, whatever. I got to go stream for a little bit. If something bad happens, I guess I'll come back. It's whatever.
Yeah, I don't care. Either way, I really don't care.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah. You're lame anyway, Dad. Now we go from Alpha telling him about the spell that is apparently cast on Tommy. We go straight to Rita's crib. She's throwing a victory party complete with alcoholic refreshments.
And complete with totally not dubbed voiceovers for Scorpina and Rita. Totally not dubbed.
Yeah, not at all. Totally matches the words that are coming out of their mouth. No, they're drinking cocktails. They're having a great time. Rita is literally on the verge of taking over the world, Slashaholics. One thing I want to know, though, how come the Rangers don't alert the world military and their authorities at this point, right? Because
they have no Zords.
This is the time. They have no Zords. Zordon's gone. Green Ranger has kicked their ass once again. Rita's throwing a party. It's over. Okay, it's done. They're talking about giving up. And the last thing they want to do is actually contact NATO. Like the world, like people that are supposed to protect the world, Earth. Doesn't even cross their mind.
Just it's an easy target. It's literally on the moon. Just shoot a nuke at the moon. It's the giant castle on the moon.
Oh, dude. Hey, so we're gonna the President Clinton has decided today, on the advice of 5 teenagers from a local juice bar in California, he is going to nuke the moon because of a space witch who is attempting to take over the world. Bulk and Skull were on the scene, 2 local youths, and they were asked about their opinion on what on the developing news in California. Bulk and Skull said they're going to figure out who the real Power Rangers are. No comment on the actual nuke that's about to be shot on the moon.
Well, according to Alpha, the Power Rangers kind of are being teenagers with attitude because apparently in between Rita's party and Bill Clinton preparing nukes for the moon, the Power Rangers have completely told Alpha, no, we're not going to help. We're not going to try to save Tommy. It's all over. We give up because Alpha seriously asked the Rangers when it cuts to them after the moon scene if they'll reconsider. like were they sitting around talking like we're just done?
Yeah.
Save Zordon on your own, robot asshole.
Brutus.
Like, will you reconsider, please? It's like get Alpha a Paxil. He is stressed, man. Oh my god.
What's the dosage of Klonopin or Paxil for a robot? His tolerance must be incredible.
Oh god. And there's still a chance I can bring Zordon back, even though several times he was destroyed with no chance of saving him. Ay ay ay.
Alpha is having a harder time finding Zordon than I did trying to find a clear UHF channel when I was a child.
Right.
Like, tuning that thing, having my brother put tinfoil on his arm, lifting his arm up, don't move, don't breathe, don't even talk.
We had an easier time fixing the color on like the wood panel TVs after turning all the little knobs too much, Oh man, that was anytime you mess that up, it was terrifying. Like I remember spending like 30-40 minutes trying to fix it, like oh crap, dad's gonna be home.
Alpha had an easier time finding Zordon than I did trying to make out the shape of a boob on channel 99 that was scrambled when I was a kid. It's like
that was last night.
Yeah, I can't really see anything, but I damn sure can hear something. Because the audio was perfect. You could hear all that, but you could kind of see squiggly boobs that look like a Rembrandt painting almost.
Oh my god!
You had to use your imagination if you wanted to watch porn in the 90s.
The elusive side boob.
Yeah. So Bill Clinton's about to launch this nuke on the moon. Ernie, the owner of the juice bar, he's still running the juice bar, Josh. He's watching footage of Goldar actively destroying the city. So I don't know if this is the old footage from episode 4, but he's just at the juice bar with his arm on the bar, just kind of watching it. And he's like, can you believe this stuff is happening right now?
I know. And Kim's like, I know it's terrible. They keep renewing the Kardashians. It's just horrible.
Dude, they're not only are the Kardashians renewed, but he's still operating his normal business hours at this point.
What about the earthquake? Didn't it like destroy the thing when Vulcan Skull took the bus?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Ernie has some wherewithal and some grit. He rebuilt it within the last 2 days.
And Vulcan Skull are the true heroes. Like, what was their explanation? Because they said, actually, you should be thanking us or something.
Yeah, that's my next note. Yeah,
okay.
Vulcan Skull want credit for staving off Goldar. Why? What did they do?
The bus, they didn't die, I guess. And then Kimberly steals Bulk's dream segment. He was about to have a daydream segment, and she just steals it from him. Like, stop it. I got to go talk to my evil friend over here that's roiding out on the weight machine.
Okay, and I don't know, Slashaholics, if any of you guys lift weights, because I lift weights on the regular. Tell me if I'm wrong, but Tommy's like doing chest press. He's doing the chest press on what looks like to be a pec deck. So like that movement, you're supposed to put your arms up here and come like that. He's pressing it like a bar.
Oh my gosh.
So that's not the correct movement. I don't know why they filmed him like that on that machine.
I love how Kimberly comes up to him like, Tommy, I know, and he's all like, damn, I only kissed one dude. Oh, that I'm the Green Ranger. Yeah, okay, yeah. That's does he not look like he's roiding out more than just evil? Like just covered in sweat and just
he's having a heart, dude. He's having a hard time. He's preparing for the episode later in the season where he tries to join the football team. So he just started his steroids to help make the team.
But it is very chivalrous of him. That's the big word of the day right there. Chivalry's not dead, because it was very nice of the evil Green Ranger to not destroy the Pink Ranger in public.
He Slashaholics. He holds off his Empress's evil plan he could have ended the Pink Ranger right there, because she's not morphed and she's not going to morph in the middle of the juice bar.
To Does he have the
He
same
could've-
roles from Rita? You cannot let people know who you are.
Yeah, exactly. So he decides to not. He's passive aggressive with her some more. Basically says what he's gonna do to her. He's gonna kick her ass. They end the scene, and then they pretty much. Hold on. Okay. Tommy just warns Pink Ranger that shit's about to hit the fan. He goes back to his to his set on the deck deck. The Dragon Zord, Josh, is introduced.
And Squat's terrified of it being found or something. Like, what was that all about?
I don't know why the Squat and Babu at any point in any scene are confusing to me, and I don't know if it's because of they couldn't figure out how to dub them or what to write, what lines they should have. When they're in the writer's room again, trying to make sense of the footage they have. They're just there for laughs, but they don't have any jokes. There's no punchlines.
Were you confused as shit when the movie came out and there was a pig?
Oh, no, kinda a little bit. Were you?
I was like, where's Squat and Bab? Oh, there's a pig. Okay, there's a.
I just assumed it was Pudgy Pig again.
Oh, just without like in a better.
Yeah, I don't do the movie. Like when you explained to me, like because in the season when they get their ninja powers, like in season 3, is it season 3 or at the end of season 2?
Season 3, beginning of season 3.
Okay, beginning of season 3, like Kimberly's just about to leave to become a gymnast, and she writes Tommy a Dear John letter while he's also lifting weights again.
Yeah.
And he reads it out loud, the breakup letter in front of everybody. How embarrassing! But he gets his ninja power. They get their ninja powers from Ninjor, who sounds like Dudley Do-Right. But in the movie, they have that beautiful warrior goddess, give them their powers. It's not canon in the movie, and I didn't know that till you explained that to me.
Yeah, the movie was just a total like standalone thing. That's why the suits and all that. Yeah. So
What a way to shit on the fans. Like, I don't like that at all.
I didn't either. But I mean, then they Turbo, the movie is connected to the show because when Turbo starts, the movie's already happened. Like they acknowledge the movie. The little hairy dude comes back. Oh, I hated Turbo. Oh, I hated Turbo.
I haven't even seen Turbo all the way. I got to the part where Rocky decides they have to go harder, and he kicks himself out of the ring and hurts himself.
Yeah. And
then I just turned it off after that. I couldn't go any further.
Putty didn't get him. The bird things didn't get him. The Tengu Warriors. Yeah. Oh my God. When Anthony was like 2 or 3, he was watching Power Rangers. I had the DVD set of the originals. He was watching them in the other room, like in the back room, and I'm in the living room, and all of a sudden I hear, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." I was like, What is it? And he goes, "The Peckers are beating up the Power Rangers." I was like, "What the hell are you watching?" He's what he called the Tengu Warriors, the Peckers, because they were birds. I was like,
he was attempting to watch Channel 99 like we did when we were kids.
But man, I got a very important question about Angel Grove in their industrial area. Yeah. How many buildings have giant candy stripe pipes on top of them? Because this is the first of like 100 times that the Dragon Zord bites one.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Probably a lot. And also, I have another question. Uh-huh. After their downtown industrial area has been destroyed at this point like 100 times, what company is insuring any business that wants to rebuild downtown? Right? Like, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that conversation. Like, oh, you want to build another building downtown? Really? Okay. Well, here's how much it's going to cost. And it's like, 9 digits or 9 numbers or whatever.
For Monster Insurance. Like, oh my God.
Monster Insurance. Do you have Moon Nuke Insurance as well?
Dude, and oh my God, I don't know, you probably have this in your notes too. Tommy has no training, no manual. He just takes over the Zord.
Yeah. Yeah. They explain that in Once and Always, 30 years later, when Billy is describing it to Trini's daughter. He said, she's like, "How do I pilot this thing?" And he says, "Oh, it's just like your instinct will kick in." Okay.
That makes sense. Gotta love Once and Always. We ought to do like a commentary for that. I love it.
Yeah, it's got a lot of member berries. A lot of meat on the bone for us.
And a death.
Uh,
That's crazy.
Josh, before we start breaking down the second half of this episode, let's take a break and take a look at the upcoming commercial from our sponsors today.
Okay.
It's the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Green Ranger and his Dragon Dagger. With the Dragon Dagger, the Green Ranger can summon the mighty Dragon Zord. Alert! The Power Rangers and play the call to battle. Beware, the Dragon Dagger makes its own fighting sound. I don't like the name of that tool.
Believe me, it's a hit.
The Power Ranger Dragon Dagger from Bandai. Too hot to handle.
Man, that's some pretty exciting new Power Rangers products that are coming out
I'm going to get all
very
of them.
soon. Yeah, very soon, Slashaholics. Kind of convenient that is a Green Ranger product while we are reviewing the Green Ranger miniseries. Josh, Alpha has successfully found Zordon.
Well, yeah, he scanned for plot armor. And where
And
was
he
he? Was in
found-
the bathroom the whole time. That's all.
What was Zord? So is Zordon okay? I know Zordon is just able to communicate with everybody through his other dimension, but is he an actual physical body where he's at on the other side?
I don't know. The movie makes it seem like he's caught in like this interdimensional rift or whatever. And then when Ivan Ooze breaks the thing he's in, it turns like you see his physical body. I don't know if he's in suspended animation or what, but I remember when I saw the movie and he was like a physical person there.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh no, I was afraid, afraid he's going to die.
Yeah, they they actually had him as a physical being in the movie. And what didn't they break what he was in? That's what was keeping him alive or something. Was that their story?
Yeah, pretty much. That was what was keeping him like from aging or something.
Okay, so he's a physical being. So he's like that guy who was in the Iron Lung for like 70 years then. So that's essentially an Iron Lung for Zordon.
Pretty much. Yep. Interdimensional iron lung. That's a good way to do it.
What a horrible life. It's amazing that he didn't turn to the dark side. I'm sure Rita had some sort of like spell that could have like helped him regain full use of his body.
Rita and Zed, it's kind of like wrestlers back in the day before we knew about kayfabe and stuff, like we would hear that they're all best friends backstage and stuff, and we wouldn't believe it, just at the end of the day, Lord Zed, Rita, and Zordon just sitting at a bar, throwing back a cold one.
At the Motel 6 Hotel Lounge. Ric Flair shows up. Well, look at what we got here. Woo, woo, woo. Woo, woo, woo.
Here's $1,000 tip.
Rita hooks up later on. Ric Flair gives Rita the tip. She's wearing the title belt around the lobby, wearing his robe. She's got her big old freaking headdress on. She's got the Nature Boy robe on.
Hey, this time she took him to Space Mountain.
She took him to actual space.
Yeah, to space, to her castle, space castle.
So Alpha finds Zordon again. The Pink Ranger spills the Tommy tea to the rest of the Rangers. So she basically says, like, I just talked to Tommy at the juice bar that just recently got rebuilt in the last 3 days from the big earthquake. Ernie's down there still running the place. And Tommy is, in fact, the Green Ranger.
And he is roiding out like crazy. His eyes are turning green. But hey, guys, he had a chance to just completely annihilate me right there in public, but he was discreet. So, there's that.
And she was upset, Slashaholics, because she's been daydreaming about Tommy annihilating her since she met him.
Oh, God. We're
It's
canceled.
morphin' time. Okay, so they morph, Josh. They all morph after she spills the tea.
Oh, God. I got a funny one for what's coming. Go ahead.
So they morph. The Dragon Zord is putting in work, Josh, on downtown. Tommy uses his flute to perfection, and missiles are indeed launched. So he launches missiles for the first time.
I love it. And I love when Tommy is like on top of the Zord and he's like, surprise! You know, I just wanting Jason to be like, oh wow, man, you got us a new Zord. That's awesome. Awesome surprise, guys.
I didn't get you anything. I feel awkward.
But no, you're right. He plays the dagger, you know, to like shoot everything. And Trini was like, "What's he doing?"
Mhm.
He's playing beautiful music. He's just, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, he's playing the dragon dagger through his helmet, like all those memes that say like he's playing a flute without blowing on it. Rita is upset, so they cut to Rita while the Dragon Zord is like just raising hell. Rita is upset that Tommy won't hit them with his finishing move and finally pin the Power Rangers.
Exactly.
She's like, what is he doing? Ah!
Oh, Alex,
Yeah, go ahead.
get in defensive mode, and now look out off screen somewhere for the giant tail that is totally there and swinging at us. You ready?
Yeah.
Ah, shake.
Ah!
It's totally there. He just totally swung the giant tail at us for real. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did. But it doesn't make sense. Like he's not trying to finish them off. He's actively putting in work, right? I don't
Yeah.
He's not holding back at all. So I'm not understanding. They must have edited that incorrectly because it doesn't show him holding back. Zordon is officially back. So Zordon does his big save. He does the run in if this is pro wrestling. Zordon's back. He tells Alpha that they have to destroy Tommy's Sword of Darkness and that the spell will be broken. So Zordon is confirming Slashaholics that he is in fact under a spell. Alpha was only assuming it earlier. So
Yeah,
he was spreading misinformation like a former president of the United States did. So Alpha would actually be under charges right now, right?
yeah.
Federal charges for that. So you can't
He's
spread
actually
misinformation like
he's
that.
the one supplying Tommy with his roids, man. Power roids. Get
His
them
power.
get them to their Zords. Yeah, about that, Zordon.
Tommy's injecting PEDs that he acquired from Alpha 5, and in the syringe, it's glowing green, the liquid, whatever it is.
His eyes light up green.
Oh my God. I just came up with Tommy would be, in fact be chasing the green dragon.
Oh my God, the green. Yep, chasing the green dragon.
So Tommy was chasing the green dragon, which was supplied by his drug dealer, Alpha 5.
And now we get the huge psych. Zords aren't dead. They're perfectly fine.
They're back. Zordon comes back. They need to break the sword. The Power Rangers, more like belts, start glowing, and their Zords are reactivated, just like Josh said.
And somehow they know because it's glowing that Zordon is back. Everything's glowing. Zordon's back. Like, we do get a really cool like T-Rex versus Dragon Zord fight here. You don't see like maybe in the future seasons you see more of the separate Zords fighting, you know, but especially with like Zeo and stuff, but you didn't see that a lot in the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers season. So seeing the Tyrannosaurus Zord fighting the Dragon Zord, that was pretty cool. And you can also see the string holding up their tails. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, their tails are like being held up, so it's yeah.
Okay. Since you brought that up, have you ever watched episodes of Saved by the Bell? And if you look closely, you can see the boom mic.
Yes.
Like you can see the boom mic Slashaholics on episodes of Saved by the Bell. I think in almost every episode. They did a really poor job of that. And the movie Just Married with Ashton Kutcher and Brittany Murphy, you can see the boom mic so clearly in a lot of those scenes that it's distracting. It's really distracting. So while these Zords are battling, and it's awesome to look at, and it's like one of the first time it is the first time we've seen a full-on Zord on Zord, hot, steamy Zord on Zord action.
Channel 99.
Channel 99. It's not even scrambled slashaholics. Where the hell is Scorpina and Goldar? Why aren't they teaming up like they did previously?
They're too drunk. They had too much champagne. They're having to, they're drinking coffee.
They're so drunk, Josh, that their voices are being dubbed over because they can't speak correctly or clearly because they're so drunk.
Oh yeah, and then speaking of dubbing voices, when the T-Rex Zord finally knocks the Dragon Zord down, and by the way, defeated Dragon Zord on the ground, looking up at the T-Rex Zord or the Megazord or whatever it is. I think at this point it's the Megazord. They turn into the Megazord. They knock the Dragon Zord down, and it looks so sad on the ground. I almost wanted to cry for it. But Jason's voice comes out of the Megazord, looking down, and it's like, "Give it up, Tommy. There's no way you can win." And this voice, I think I'm going to throw the clip in just so people can hear it just real quick. The voice is not Tommy's. It's like, "No way."
Give it up, Tommy!
No way!
Sorry it has to be like this, but Zordon says I've got to destroy your sword to save you, before you and Rita destroy the world! Alright, I'm going down!
Not even close. It's like a PA or somebody. They must have like added that in after everybody left for the day, and they didn't want to pay anyone any more money for dubbing.
It's like you said, it's the cartoon, or not the cartoon, the commercial voice.
Yeah, it sounded to me like the guys who do the commercials for and like it's clearly not their voices, but it's I don't know. It's ridiculous. The Ninja Turtle commercials did that too, and that always bothered me. They wouldn't have the actual characters' voices. They'd always have somebody else's.
All they have to do is like take lines from the show and make it work for the commercial. They don't even have to, get them to come in. But I've got a case to make about Tommy eventually becoming the new leader of the team. Jason is about to do something that he's done on other occasions where he gives away the game. Like he literally yells down from the Zord before he jumps out of the Zord to fight Tommy on the ground. He literally yells, "Sorry, but Zordon says I got to destroy your sword to stop you and break the spell."
What he's going to do before he does it. Yeah. Why is he telling him? And then Jason also does something. Jason does something earlier, like right before that. He's talking to the other Rangers, and he's like, he demands more power from the Megazord. So he's like, "We need more power." And basically he's saying we need to turn the power and the violence level up. We need to almost kill Tommy in order to save him. So do you remember that where he's like, "We need more power."
Yeah.
We need to,
who's holding back?
Exactly. He's like saying like we're gonna like we almost have to kill Tommy in order to he's like an abusive husband. He's like, "I'm slapping the evil out of you. Like this isn't my fault, Tommy. This is your fault for you acting this way.
This is for your own good.
This is for your own good, Tommy. You should have done the dishes better.
This hurts me more than it hurts you."
Exactly. So Jason's got a weird, like kind of abusive husband complex going on here. So now we've got hot, steamy Ranger on Ranger hand-to-hand combat. Now we're back to Channel 99. Green Ranger versus Red Ranger. And they're both going at each other. They're beating the living hell out of each other. They're hitting each other with their swords and dragon daggers, and there's no blood. There's just a bunch of sparks.
And the robots.
Robots, yeah. So there's no blood or anything. As a matter of fact, I think Tommy or Jason would have died a couple times in this fight had they got hit with those actual swords.
Oh, God, yes. And Jason, Tommy just starts playing his flute at one point, his dagger, and nothing is really happening. It's just like he's like just playing music for the fuck of it. This will stop Jason. He hates music.
he hates the arts. Take him out.
Jason's like, "Hold on, let me set my blaster to sword destroy mode."
Exactly. Jason gets the upper hand and sets his blaster to sword destroyer and destroys the Sword of Darkness. Slashaholics. The spell has been broken, and Tommy is showing instant regret, and he's instantly remorseful, and he's basically saying like, I did all these terrible things, I was evil, blah blah blah. I don't think he is there a point where he apologizes, or he's just
Oh, yeah.
showing remorse, right?
I think he says sorry at some point. I can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
And as he shakes Jason's hand, Zordon says the words to Alpha, "You are watching history in the making." And goddamn, if Zordon wasn't right. I mean, most powerful scene in my memory ever was right there. Tommy joining the team, man. It was freaking awesome. And everything that came after, that is definitely history right there. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's the moment where I don't know if Austin St. John, the man, had enough vision to see that that was pretty much the end of him having control over the team and over control of the production, because Jason David Frank, the man, from that day on, in the eyes of most Power Ranger fans, was the guy. The way that I always talk in terms of wrestling, the way that Haim Saban booked the Green Ranger in this miniseries, he's so powerful that he was able to take on the entire team by himself without a Zord.
I think his powers lessen after he's broken from Rita's spell, though. I think they actually at some point or something.
Yeah, a little bit. And his Dragon Zord took an ass whooping, and the sword was destroyed. And here's another question: who does Zordon and Alpha have, like, mechanic wise? Who's working on these Zords?
Billy.
Billy's working on the Zords
all by himself. Yep.
When they take these beatings in these fights, do you think at any point, since now Zordon owns both Zords because he has all 6 Rangers now, do you think at any point he's like, damn it, like, I wish I'm biting off my nose to spite my face? Like, he's having to fix both Zords that his team destroyed?
Oh God, I just realized Alpha's name is Alpha 5, right? There's probably like 300 Alphas that are like slave labor having to fix Zords constantly. I guarantee that's what it is. And oh my God, I love, if I was the bad guy in any of these old shows, as soon as like the team started morphing or activating their powers and they take their time to do one at a time and say shit, I would just like pull out a gun and shoot them. But like after Tommy shakes his hand and stuff, they literally morph for no other reason but to say corny one-liners and do karate moves.
Yeah, there's
no bad guy.
To pump up all the kids that are watching at home. So Tommy just joined the team, and Zordon says that the prophecy has been fulfilled. What prophecy? There's been no mention of the 6th Ranger prophecy at any point until now.
The prophecy of the Dragon Zord in fighting mode. Look at that badass thing. That was pretty cool to see that for the first time.
Yeah, I mean it's awesome, and it was cool to see that, but it was like Friday the 13th, like when they revealed Jason's mom to be the killer, and it's like let's see who you really are, like a Scooby-Doo moment.
What got away with it?
It's Jason Voorhees' mom, who we didn't even know was in the film until this very scene. Like, what the hell?
You didn't hear the prophecy? Oh, I know what it was. In like episode 3 of the miniseries, when Zordon was like, Alpha, not the prophecy, the Green Ranger.
Yeah,
like, we just didn't hear it. He wasn't
tuning it correctly.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Speaking of tuning, Alex, Billy presents Tommy with a communicator. Says, I made you a communicator. Tommy literally joined the team 2 minutes ago, so this thing was already laying around. And B, it's like Tommy was probably thinking, gee, thanks. I was wondering how I was going to have to hike through the desert, to get to the damn command center.
Well, here's another thing. Does the rad bug have room for 6? Because they barely seat 5.
Kimberly will have to sit on Tommy's lap.
They're gonna have to get a rad bus. They're gonna have to get a VW bus now.
A rad bus. Do you think Jason would have shook Tommy's hand if he knew that Tommy was gonna, take Kimberly away and become the leader of the team?
Well, I no, it's crazy, man. It's like Jason, like or Austin St. John, Jason Geiger is his real name. He had to have seen like the writing on the wall a little bit that like, hey, there's like another alpha that they're writing into this to the
There's an
script here.
Alpha 6? What?
Yeah, like an Alpha 6, JDF. And then also Austin St. John like picked one of the worst times in the world to like, hey, this is the moment where like season 2 where we should try to get more money. Let me leverage my character who's no longer the sole focus against whatever, we have going on. And then Haim Saban's like, oh, I'll just write you out, no problem,
Yeah,
because JDF's the guy. Yeah, that was not great foresight on his part.
Were you ever a Jason guy? Because for me, before Tommy came around, I was all about, like, I was a Billy guy. Billy was my favorite. I never really cared for Jason. Never liked him.
My that's a hard question. I guess I was to a certain extent because the way they presented him as the leader. But I was always like Jason, Trini, and Zach. Those were like my 3 favorites. Excuse me. And then when JDF showed up, that's when my love for the Power Rangers just exploded.
Yeah.
And I'm not making this up. I mean, you can ask anyone in my family that when this miniseries, these are the first episodes that I saw. And then it got me into the back episodes and I started watching everything. But this was what got me into the Power Rangers big time. And it was all because of Jason David Frank. And I still want to talk about the Power Rangers at age 40 because of Jason David Frank. So there you go.
We almost didn't have him. He was going to, I sent you the video one time. The show VR Troopers was going to be called not Voltron, something like that, something Tron.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to be a Jason David Frank show. Instead of having 3 VR troopers, it was just going to be him as like the main VR trooper.
Yeah, and
there's a pilot for it. Yeah.
Yes, I've seen the footage that you sent me. I didn't understand what you were talking about. Haim Saban was basically like, I really like this guy, and I'm going to use him in some way.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Well, I'm glad we got him on Power Rangers because VR Troopers would have. They only had enough footage for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And that would have been it. We wouldn't even know who Jason David Frank is at this point, probably. But
so the Green Ranger, here's a little bit of backstory. So the kids, like because I don't think JDF was initially signed for 10 episodes.
Yeah.
So like probably this miniseries and then like 5 episodes afterwards. When he was eventually kind of taken off TV, because I don't think they had a lot of footage of the Green Ranger at their disposal.
The Japanese footage had him. He was a bad guy more than a good guy in the Japanese version.
Mm-hmm.
So like they had to like be real
picky and choosy.
That's why they made the whole thing about eventually where he has to like only show up when they really need the help, The
Green Candle miniseries showed up. But he starts losing his powers, but like all these kids started writing into Fox and like demanding that Tommy be brought back. They were like crying. It was like a huge letter writing campaign. And that's what brought Jason David Frank on full time. And then Haim Saban, who hates spending money, he's on record. He is a budget guy. He's a financial genius, obviously. Yeah. He didn't want to spend more money, but in this instance, he did, because they ended up filming more scenes with just JDF in the Green Ranger suit because he was so popular for the franchise.
The White Ranger stuff too was like footage. The footage didn't have a lot of him with the team. That's why you see a lot of him like with the Tiger Zord fighting something before it combines and stuff. But yeah. Jason David Frank, man, he's one of a kind for sure.
Definitely missed. We love Jason David Frank, and we're terribly sad that he's gone, obviously. So the episode ends after they're posing and stuff. Rita is absolutely pissed. Zordon thanks Alpha for holding down the fort. Tommy gets sworn in, and he's given his communicator, and it goes to the credits. And that's the end of part 5 of Green with Evil. The miniseries has concluded, and JDF, Tommy, is officially the 6th Ranger.
Yep. I love it, man. And I never looked back. It was awesome. So much fun. This was the best episode out of the 5 for sure.
Yeah, it was action packed it was 19 minutes, but like I know 19 minutes isn't a long time, but like that 19 minutes felt like 3 minutes because the entire episode was jam packed
Yes.
with action. Yeah. From one scene of action to the next scene. Cool things happening. Tommy's getting sworn in. You got Zord battles. We see the Dragon Zord for the first time. Hand-to-hand combat between the Green and the Red Ranger. Just a bunch of really cool stuff. Josh, how do you feel that the Green Ranger was presented in this episode? How do you think he was kind of handled in this episode?
Really good. I liked it. A couple, him not attacking Kimberly in the juice bar seemed a little off, but no, this was the history making episode. So I enjoyed how they handled him.
What would Ernie have done had the Green Ranger just unleashed his karate on Kimberly right there?
Just murdered her right there in the juice bar.
Kicked the crap out of her. Bulk and Skull try to help. He just beats the living hell out of both of them.
Half off juices today.
Did you like the plot of this episode? I think you already just said your answer. Did you like how the show went down?
I don't like that the whole prophecy thing got thrown out and the Zords were just all of a sudden back, but I can look past that just because of the historical part of it all. So yeah.
I guess Zordon, in fact, did know that the prophecy was a thing, but none of us did because the wrist communicator was made, right?
Yeah, it was already made. Yeah, he already had a green wrist communicator ready to go.
But Billy said he made it, so Billy didn't know. So happy accident.
I guess either that or he just has like a 3D printer back there, and it's not even a real communicator. It's just a 3D printed one.
I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around some of this. Rate the episode, Josh, out of 4 broken swords of darkness, 4 being the best, 1 being the worst. How many do you give it?
4, because this is the moment. This is history in the making, as Zordon said. That's all I can say. It has some flaws, but 4. It gets a 4.
Yeah, 4 out of 4 from me. So perfect score. And we're going to end this show with rating the series. Josh, what do you rate the entire miniseries?
Out of 4?
Out of 4.
If I was going just as a 40-year-old who watched it, and I'd say like a 2, but I'm going to say a 3.5 just because the nostalgia factor, the introduction to Jason David Frank, and even the parts that made no sense made me laugh and I had fun with it. It wasn't like oh geez, oh my God. Mm-hmm. So I'll go 3. I'll go 3. 3 out of 4.
I give it 3.5 out of 4, just like you did earlier before you changed it. I would say the only black mark against this miniseries was episode 4.
Yeah, 4 was really bad.
4 was weak. 4 was weak, and then 5 was perfect. Great. I couldn't recommend this miniseries to any more. And if you're just starting to watch the Power Rangers and you want to get into it, this is a great place to start.
Yes. Very much so.
Yeah. So start if you don't want to watch the first, 18, 19 episodes before this, you can start right here. Josh, that's the end of the episode, buddy. Do you want to do some channel business and then we'll end the show with a PSA?
Yeah, be sure to hit up the main channel, Trax Network with the 80 Slasher Librarian. Lots of cool horror books, audiobooks, podcasts. We do some horror reviews over there and mystery science theater type show called Trax where we riff. Be sure to subscribe, click the like button if you haven't done so already. That's the best way you can help the channel if you're not able to support with financially. But if you do want to tip the channel or help out, you can join our Patreon, patreon.com/80 Slasher Librarian. You can also tip the channel with a super thanks through PayPal or Cash App. All the information is in the description and pinned comment. You can even order a cameo video from us for like $5 and pretty much tell us to do whatever. We'll do it within reason and within legality. But yeah, it could be a lot of fun.
Legality.
you want to hit them with the no channel 99 stuff, but hit them with the email.
Yeah, /Trax2020@gmail.com. If there's a future episode of a show you'd like to see us review, you can write us there, give us a suggestion. If you want to partner with us in a future episode of anything that we do on either channel and you have an idea that you think would be good for the show and good for you guys, write us at /Trax2020@gmail.com. We will help shill your product. We are not Wayne and Garth. We are not afraid of bowing down to corporate sponsors. We will do that.
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
We will do that.
We got knee pads just for it. So.
Yeah, we do bow down to corporate sponsors. And then also, if you like other episodes, if you have any would you rather, who would win, Ask Slashy, anything like that for a future podcast news episode, write us at the email, give us a suggestion or a question. We would love to answer your question or suggestion on a future episode of the podcast show. And Josh, right now, I think it's only been out for like 4 days. We have a brand new podcast news episode on the main channel /Trax network with 80/Librarian, which is currently blowing the F up. So get on over there, check it out. And Josh is going to be reviewing a My Pet Monster TV episode soon.
Yes.
We're going to do another episode of He-Man probably. Hopefully, we're going to start reviewing 2 TV episodes a week. We're going to start really pumping this stuff out, baby.
And
be on the lookout.
And the riffs are on the way. And
Yeah.
If you donate $20 today, the next episode of /Trax Reviews TV, Alex will take a whipped cream pie and just slam it into his face right there on camera.
No, he won't. No, he won't. But if you do donate $10 or more, whatever TV show you ask us to review, we will review it for you. How about that?
Yes, and I'll do
All
the
right.
pie thing even if you don't donate because I like whipped cream and pie.
What would you do? You just did the what would you do Nickelodeon thing. How many pies should we hit Alex with? 1, 2, 3, or 4? 4. Yeah. And then half the time, 2 of the pies would miss them because it was like the worst pie machine ever. Stupid hands. Like, boing, boing.
I used to love that show though. What would you do? For some, I could just watch. It's on YouTube, like all the episodes. I think.
Yeah. What would you do was a really interesting concept for a Nickelodeon show in like 1991. It was a weird one. Just him just walking around Universal Studios asking questions to people.
He got this girl and boy to come. Like the first episode I rewatched on YouTube recently, just because I was going down a nostalgia rabbit hole. Sorry. He got this boy and girl sitting there, and he's like trying to why don't you give him a kiss? And they were like first cousins. Like,
Oh God.
we're cousins. He's like, kiss him on the cheek. And like, I was like, Mark, stop with the kissing thing. This is weird. Like, I don't remember this. I don't remember this, Mark. But it was really creepy.
Dude, I'm surprised that wasn't included in that freaking Nickelodeon documentary that they just released.
Right.
Yeah. All right, man. On that note, let's end the show, baby.
All right. Thank you all so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Be excellent to each other. Remember, the sun never sets on those who ride into it. Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow. Say good night, Alex.
Good night, Alex. Mahalo, dogs. And may the power protect you.
Here's an important message from Tommy, formerly the Green Ranger, now the White Ranger.
From the scenes you just saw, and what I do on Power Rangers, some of you guys might think I'm out there looking for trouble, ready to get in the fight. That's not what I'm about. That's not what martial arts is about.
Tommy, what is martial arts about?
Self-respect. Remember that you're important. Confidence. Learn to believe in yourself. Discipline. Stick with something even if you don't get it right the first time. Cooperation. You should help out whenever you can. There's a few rules about martial arts that I think are really important. Remember to practice martial arts either at home, away from lamps, furniture, you know, the stuff that can break or hurt you, or in a karate school like this one. And always make sure there's an adult there when you're practicing. Either your sensei or your mom and dad. Oh yeah, and there's one place you especially don't want to practice martial arts. School. Why don't you guys tell us why you shouldn't practice martial arts at school?
Somebody can get hurt.
So make sure you 2 guys remember that, okay?
Okay.
This was a message from the Power Rangers asking you to play safely.
And now, a message from